in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, man. Been a long time coming, man. Frankie Rob, how you doing, bro?
Man, you know already everything's smooth, man. Everything good, man. How you been, bro?
I'm good, man. It's been 6 months, man. 6 months since our last episode, man. And since we published one, we actually did a couple, but we never published them. But it's been a long hiatus, man. A lot of things going on, man. A lot of things going on, man.
A lot of things going on, brother.
Yeah, man. Let's get into a couple things, man. I figure, like, this episode, man, we can just kind of catch up with us, man. We always interview people, but we can kind of catch up with us. So, like, when we left, man, you was committed to Alabama, and you kept that commitment. What all went into that, bro?
Well, with Jahquez, man, he really there's only one other school, I believe. Well, I would say two. South Carolina and LSU were the ones that were down to Alabama, South Carolina, or LSU. And then because Nick Saban and his staff, when I say that, kept in contact with him that way, they kept in contact with him like all the time. They called him. They had a call every week set up for him to talk to Coach Saban, man. So it's been that way since the time he committed. So, and then they're the only ones that made him feel as if he got to come in and earn something. So he wanted to go earn it, so he did it. He went there.
So what are some turnoffs? Because we always helping our audience and stuff like that. What are some turnoffs that you've seen that was the difference between the way Alabama treated you and other schools treated you? You ain't got to say the names, but like other schools, some of the things you've seen, you're like, you know what, that's not the right school. Any turnoffs?
Well, for me, I know one school. One coach is like, the head coach really like you, man. So I think I got to recruit you. Right? That's one thing. I was like, what? All right, so you position coach telling my son that you reason you recruiting him because the head coach wants him. Yeah, I didn't like that factor. That he didn't like that either. And then, for the most part, it's like if they really, really contacted my son, like I know they get dead periods where they can't contact you, but in the same sense, man, some coaches gonna do what they got to do to make it happen. Like some coaches gave us their personal numbers where the school was not, anything, whatever, So I feel like if they really, really want to get you, they go do what it takes to get you, keep you on who's with him, keep you when they targets. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make sure they contact you, man. So I don't think they really want you. They're gonna contact you, man. That's reality.
Man, I just see so many kids today, man, they're so happy that they involved in the school that they put out way, way, way more effort than the coach does. You got to be humble, but at the same time, you got to realize that's their job. So they gonna do. If they really, really want you, they're gonna show you they do. If they don't, on you just on the hook, they're not gonna hit you up as much. They're not gonna do some of the things that other coaches and other staffs gonna do. That's what I really, really realized, man. So
another thing that I also realized is that it's a like. Honestly, like Coach Saban told me, he was like, Frank, it's not just me recruiting your son. Yeah, I'm gonna coach your son and everything, but it's not just me. It's a family thing here. So I feel like if an uncle would call his nephew and stuff like that, he's like, these coaches are going to be that uncle to your son. So we want to make sure that not only I'm calling, but they gonna call him as well. And it's true. Like, and I can't say Alabama's the only school, but I promise you, like, I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna tell it. South Carolina, the whole staff called us. Even the wives of the coaches called us. It really, really recruited my son. If I ain't know what recruitment was, then I kind of figured out what it really is. When it's the people say it's a family atmosphere, but you only talk to them while you're there. Talk to 1-2 coaches while you're there. When my son left, when I tell you, I got the number to every single person on Alabama. I don't care what they coach. I got everybody's number. I can call them and ask them anything. Hey, how my son doing? Now that he's there, I still can contact them. That's how I knew it was really something. Sometimes you won't figure that out till you get there. But in the same sense, man, it's a good feeling to know that everybody really was big on my son. How Jahquez tell me yesterday, I talked to him. He was like, man, they still check on me like they recruiting me, Dad. He was like, Dad. He asked me, man, how your body doing? Because Jahquez had a little tendonitis or whatever. He's like, man, how's that going? You going through your treatments? You making sure you get this done? Because you're here for a reason. We recruited you here to play. We didn't recruit you here to sit on the bench. We didn't recruit you here to be a help. We recruited you here to get on the field. So we want to make sure your body right. And made me feel good about him being there. And I'm pretty sure that South Carolina would have did it, and LSU would have been the same way. Because they really contacted us like that, bro. They really, really you know, talk to us. You know what I'm saying? As people.
All right, so
that was good, man.
We definitely gonna get into all that. So I want to know about and tell people some of the things that were the steps that you had to do as a parent to get your kid ready. What I mean by that is the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? We always talk about the football, the coaches, and all that kind of stuff, but people do not understand how much paperwork that has to be done at a certain time, especially when you're early enrollee like that. Can you give us some insight on that?
Yes. All right, so what I could tell everybody is that you're going to need to be involved in the NCAA to find out exactly what they need. They're going to need, like, even for the FAFSA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to fill out something for my son to get the FAFSA. My wife had to fill out something for our son to get the FAFSA. We had to go on the list of what everybody that my son told me that I want to go here or I'm thinking about going here. We can go look at, like you told me that too, Randy. Man, go look at the staff. Not staff, but look at what they recruited previous years to see if you compare to them. And also go on there and look at, you know, what the grades, like not grades, but what classes the kids need to take to actually be NCAA eligible. Because everything in high school you take is not always NCAA eligible. So you need to go on there and check and make sure that everything you're doing is NCAA eligible in the classroom. If not, get that done. Your test scores, your GPA. Like, parents got to make sure they stay on top of their son's GPA or daughter's GPAs and make sure that they're always eligible to go to college from the time they get a ninth grade to the time they're seniors. Make sure that everything is always squared away. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you figure that stuff out. You make sure that stuff is there. Paperwork-wise, we had to fill out, you know, like certain questionnaires the school sent us about the kid for us culture. Well, I know Alabama sent us character-type questions about our son. Like, has he ever been in this type of trouble? Has he ever did this, ever did that? Basically go through a survey of things that he's done, because not everybody recruit everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they want high-character kids. And that's what one thing that made me happy about him choosing Alabama, because they really want high-character kids. Kids you can trust not to go out there and go mess up everything. Go do nothing stupid. You know, you want those kind of kids around. And me as a dad, I want them kind of kids around my son. I don't want to be around a whole bunch of knuckleheads. But at the end of the day, you become a product of that environment that you're in. So I want to be around kids that really got a goal to graduate from college and a goal to make it to the pros. That's your goal. That's what I need my son around. People with that positive mentality and attitude. And I think that's the best thing you can get. But like I said, man, you got to do the go on NCAA clearinghouse. Randy helped me out with that. Told me I need to go on there, and on there you got to get all the questions you got to answer about 7on17s and everything on there. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go on there, some work involved in it, getting your son to college or daughter to college. That's stuff you got to do to get it done. It's not about athletics. Sometimes, you know, you got to be mentally stable to make that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, something I would tell them.
Yeah, the clearinghouse, man, and a lot of people that dreaded clearinghouse, I was hoping you was going to touch on that, because, like, the biggest thing on that is they're trying to make sure that you didn't violate NCAA rules while you was in high school. You know, take money for this or do this for this. Take different stuff from different organizations, because there's a lot of that stuff out there. So it's pretty long and it's a lot of stuff to fill out. But once you get it done, it's knocked out. It's done. You know, never have to do it again. But it is a lot of paperwork involved. You know what I'm saying? It's more paperwork than money, really, if you're going D1. Tell you the truth. More paperwork than money.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So your son had a pleasure to practice with Alabama before the Michigan Bowl game. How was that?
Man, that was crazy. How it was like, you know, I got the plane ticket for him to go, and they got a plane ticket for him to come back. You know what I'm saying? So I got a plane ticket for my son to go out there, and they had somebody wait at the airport for him, pick him up and take him there. He had his own dorm room, everything of that nature. But as far as the experience for him, it was like, it's kind of difficult to go from high school, playing high school football, now you're going to college. And the way they do stuff in college, though, it's like Jahquez said, that the game, like, being from Florida, sorry, but he was like, they're not faster, like, speed-wise. It's just being able to speed up and understand what calls are being called, and if this happens, if that happens, how to understand all that is what the speed of the game is, being able to decipher between, if I'm in this kind of defense, my job as defense is to do this. But if this guy moves, I got to do this. So that's what something that made me happy, that he finally is challenged, has a challenge to keep up to because you want to be on the field. So you got to learn these plays. You got to learn these things, and you got to perform it at a high level to keep on the field. So I'm happy. I liked it. It's a good experience for him to learn that it's more than just being fast. It's more than just being strong. It's more than just, whatever. You got to be really smart, being able to understand and duplicate what you've been taught. And that's for me as a dad. I love the hard road. You know what I'm saying? I want you to go through the hard road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
That's good for me.
I have arguments with numerous parents, man, on a daily basis about the talented athlete versus the athlete who is not so talented, but they have a better understanding of the game. I'm gonna tell you, it's just my opinion that the guys who understand the game at a younger age, and we challenge them more at a younger age, instead of letting them use their athleticism, go left, go right, just do your thing or whatever. Those guys go farther in NFL. It might not be as such in college, but when you get to the NFL, you have to understand and know the game like the back of your hand. You have to study film, period. So I try to tell my younger coaches that coach Pop Warner, high school and stuff like that, we got to challenge our athletes at a younger age, man. So they should know what you should know. They should know what you should know, pretty much, because that's what you're going to have to do on the next level. What you was about to say?
Yeah, man. I remember I had a conversation with Coach Saban, right? He was like, well, if you think about it, everybody will get a chance to go to the NFL. Whether you're drafted or you go to one of their camps or something like that. Everybody has a chance to go to the pros, but the ones that make it there are the ones that understood the game of football, knowing how to read plays, knowing how to, perform in those plays, are the ones that stay. Like, it's because you got drafted first round, don't mean that you're going to be in the NFL for 11, 13 years. You got people like Gronk, who didn't do it. Even the guy we did a podcast with, Rashard Johnson, at Alabama, who's a walk-on as a running back, got moved to a corner, played 13 years in the league, strictly because he understood what the defense is and how he's supposed to maneuver in it. And that's what the biggest thing with kids, man, like you said, man, learning the defense and what your responsibility is, not only yours, but what your teammates' responsibility is. You're not learning your position, you're learning the defense in whole. But in this defense that I'm in, my job is to do this. He got this area, so I ain't got to worry about that because my job is this right here. So you do your job and you expect your teammates to do their job, and everybody wins. So it's a team game, you feel me? And that's one thing Coach Saban said to me, man, and it stuck with me. And I tell everybody that I can, that, man, you got to understand what you're doing. The biggest thing is your understanding of it. You can be fast if you want to be fast. If you want to be fast the wrong way, then the play is no good no more. You feel me?
Yeah.
So you got to be smart with it.
And these type of things that we got to tell our kids at a young age, because I'm telling you, people are not getting this message out to the kids that you have to know your job and what you have to do to make it to the next level. It's one thing making it, and another thing thriving in it. And that's a big part of it, because the system is set up a bad way. The system is set up for you to succeed in high school and Pop Warner through your athleticism versus knowing exactly why you're doing what you're doing. And I need our coaches to really focus on why are you doing what you're doing. So what was it like bringing them down there, getting them into his dorm, having a little barbecue, you know what I'm saying, last meeting with him and stuff like that? How was that like?
It was like it's kind of a dream come true in a sad situation, because, that dad that I am, as far as a on-contact dad, I can't be that no more. So I got to trust that I did everything, that I could to instill in him the right way to go and how to, make the right decisions. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good thing and a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? And then we did like some guy that I met, you know what I'm saying, in Atlanta. He wanted to do the little documentary on Jahquez, and the whole experience of what's going on right now is almost like a dream for real. It's like, really? You want to do something on him? Like, didn't get him happy, but at the same time, man, it's like scary, and it's, I don't know, man. I really can't put it into words, man. It's just, I'm happy. At the end of the day, I'm happy. Everything worked out the way it should have worked out, in my opinion. Like, he good. He happy where he at. He called me smiling all the time, and he's not worried about what's going on. And the biggest thing with kids, I'm like, man, like, right? So the biggest thing in kids is that these days, like I told Jahquez, man, it's like, man, you gotta be where your feet are, first off. Then number two, understand that everything when it comes to sports is a process. When it comes to life, period, it's a process. You gotta go through this time to get to this time. When you get there, you gotta react to it or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a process that I fell in love with and that I'm getting my sons to learn to fall in love with the process. The process, not knowing what the hell to do. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what the next thing gonna be. That process, understanding that I won't be able to do everything, but what I can do, I'm gonna be the best at.
All right, yeah, break that down for the Dirty Podcast, man. It's for be where your feet are, man. That's a big statement. That's a big time statement. What does that totally mean?
Meaning that you got some kids right now that are in 9th, 10th, worried about offers to go to college, and you haven't perfected your technique in the basic stuff yet. You see other kids getting this, getting that, getting this, not understanding that it's a process of what they're doing. It's a process of what the colleges are doing. The college sending out offers don't mean that they're going to be something they're going to actually hold to. You got a lot of people in this country that got offers early, and by the time you got to the senior year, that wasn't an option for them. Whether the coach that offered them is gone, or whether the game that they thought the player they thought they were going to be is not really what it is when they got to a higher level, or as a senior in high school. You know what I'm saying? You're not playing the same way you did as a freshman. We thought you were going to be something as a freshman, end up being a senior, not being that. So, you know, I think that loving that process of just getting better, man. You know what I'm saying? Being where your feet are, meaning that you can't be worried about what's going on in college or getting offers if you ain't really got good grades in class, first off. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got things taken care of on the field and off the field. So you can't think about college right now. You more so got to be exactly what I said, where your feet are. You got to be, you go to school every day, master that. Master getting up on time. Small stuff like getting up on time, making sure you're there, because when you get to college, if you're late, then different ball game. But you can't be in college worrying about back home in Florida. Well, Coach Jahquez, you can't worry about Jacksonville, anything going on in Jacksonville, because you're in Tuscaloosa now. Be where your feet are. Be happy where your feet are and develop yourself there. Don't worry about what's going on here in Florida. Don't worry about here. Worry about there. And when you're in Florida, don't worry about Tuscaloosa because you ain't there yet. Be good here. I think when everybody get that mindset that, you know, I got to be the best I can be here where I'm at, then when I get to where I'm at, I know that I did the best I can here to get where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true. I'm telling you, kids got to do that in high school. Kids got to do that in college. Some kids don't go to the D1 college they want to go to at first, but then they have to work their way from JUCO to move where they at. But they got to be where their feet at, control what they can control, have a game plan, and let this game plan work it out. A game plan doesn't work itself out in 2 days and 2 minutes. It takes time. Just be consistent in what you're doing. And let that game plan work it out, man. Before we go too far into some other stuff,
process, bro.
Yeah, it's a process. Before we go too far into something else, man, I gotta ask you this, man. What about that dreaded daddy cry, bro? Because I know I cried. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you be a man or whatever, but it's a time and point where he gone, and you be like, dang, he gone, and you get that cry. Did you have that?
I have that yet, bro.
Okay.
But
okay.
honestly, I haven't had that yet. You know what I'm saying? I was told by a dad that got his son there. When I met a dad, when we dropped off Jahquez, Alabama, I met a dad whose son is going on the second year there, right? And he asked me, did you cry? I was like, nah, I ain't crying nothing like that. Not yet. He's like, man, you know what's going to happen? It's when that fall comes, and you can't talk to him. You can't do nothing. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a time going to come where ain't no, like right now he can call home every day type thing, right? Mm-hmm. But when it actually gets started and you see that he's changing, that's when the kid's gonna come. So
it's gonna come. You gonna be more on the lawn. You gonna be more on the lawn, washing the dishes. It's gonna be a time where ain't nobody around because it's some man stuff. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be like, dang, bro, and you just gonna get them tears up because at the end of the day, it's progression, man. He grown as a young man. That's what you wanted to do from the get go. Yeah. That's what we all want to do. But then when it happened, we like, dang, it's gone. He gone. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. Not gone as in, yeah. But it definitely kick in. I promise you, it will. But so. He's there. You dropped him in. How did he pick his roommates and all that kind of stuff?
No, he did. They didn't pick. They did something like based on, like I told you, we had to do like a little test or whatever. I don't know what it's called, like little thing, whatever. Mm-hmm. And based on the answers that he answered the question and the kind of kid that they see him as, They roomed him with people that like them. Whether you got people that got mom and dad, people with just mom. You got people with just dad. So he grouped those people that are alike and that kind of similarities there, and put them together. So he got some good room. I know his roommates. The roommates are good dudes. I like all those dudes. Like he got a room. His room right now. He's rooming with Jace McClellan from Texas. He was committed to Oklahoma before, and then he came down to Alabama as a running back. Then they roomed him with Ronald Williams, the JUCO transfer. They rooming with him, and I like the fact he told me they rooming with him because he got 2 years left, right? So now he's gonna show them how to work because it's on the line right now for him. He'll be a junior next year, so I like that. The fact you got somebody in your room that ain't really finna go do all this other stuff that freshmen and sophomores do. He's trying to get this. He's trying to get himself together for the next level. I like that. I like that situation. Purpose is the way for me. And then he got his homeboy. Like he always had homeboys all play D-line. Right, like your son's best friend, right? All of them play. You got homeboy that play D-line up there. It's more Kennedy there, and they just like brothers for real. Every time I call him, you got those 2 guys or those 3 guys around him. They're always around each other. They build each other. And I'm happy, man. It's a good situation for him. He's blessed.
Yeah. And then I like as a parent to always warn the parents about the transition. And people ask me, what is the transition? That's just when they like try to grow up and feel themselves. So like they don't call you as much as a pops, even though you was the one taking into practice. You the one put they got their face mask, not the face mask, but they mouthpiece and stuff, and went and got it. You the one they called when they bring their socks and you had to go get off work early to go take it to the high school before the game. But they stop calling them daddy as much and kind of just reach out to the mom. You know what I'm saying? Which is that's natural.
You're so right.
That's natural.
You're so right.
Yeah.
And though I ain't gonna lie, I kind of got mad. I'm like, your mom ain't go to none of your practices, boy, in that hot sun or either cold outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm there.
Yeah.
But you call her every 5 minutes. But when something like now that he called me now when it's a question, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So I'm happy about that. But it's he had a phone with his mama. He ain't call her daddy.
Yeah, man, it's like that.
You know, I want to talk to you.
It's just like when they score a touchdown in the Super Bowl and they say hi, mom, and you like, I mean, you happy, but like you like, dang, you can say hi, mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. That's what we here for, the backbone of the family and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's something that's gonna happen.
I got hurt though, bro. I'm telling the truth. I was mad a little bit. Like, man, I'm the one, man. What you mean?
Yeah.
You want to call your daddy, man?
Yeah, but it's something that's
her.
Yeah, and it's something that's gonna happen. And then at the same time, they're gonna go through growing pains, meaning they're gonna do some things that they might not do at the crib or at the house or whatever. But it's something you gotta make sure as a father or mother that you keep communication with those kids, because they're gonna go through growing pains. Some things gonna happen. A lot of things happen when the program doesn't even tell the media. They have their own control whether they tell the media or not. You know, so it's a lot of big things happen. Don't expect that that stuff will not happen to your kid, because it does happen. Because you do get around some people that's negative. I don't care where you go, and you do try some things. It's just a growing process, and what you have to do is try to keep the communication lines open until they get to that little bit of balling, or they get all that stuff out of them, and they get back on track of the real reason why they're there. You know, a lot of kids do not focus immediately on the real reasons why they're there and why they chose that school or whatever. But it's something that you just got to keep reminding them, and it'll click back in.
That's one thing. You're right, bro. That's one thing that I know. Like, he might not say it, but I know my son. I know my child, right? I really do see, like, how when he finally went through, I know he did the practice in the bowl game practice, but in the same sense, you still recruited. You didn't recruit at that time, technically, you know what I'm saying? So, when you got there, and like Coach Saban told him, he's like, Jahquez, you're not being recruited no more. You gotta make plays. Like, and it hit him, like, dang, I gotta make plays. Now it was all surreal to where it's not now. Ain't really no more fun in it. There's no fun in it because you have certain things you got to do.
Yeah.
And everybody fun. It's all fun when you say I got the offer, everything. Yeah. Hey man, that ain't look good. You sorry for real. You got to be ready to deal with that.
Yeah,
you can't run from it. They're gonna tell you that though. Hey man, you sorry for real. We proved you because you this, because you that, because you smart. Not because I play football? No, man. You just this. Like, dang.
Yeah, if you look at the early enrollees right now, go look at their Twitter compared to during the football season. During the football season, they had time to say their opinion about Republicans and Democrats. They had their opinion to say about anything. They would say anything. They would tweet on anything. If you look at it now, during the winter workouts, they busy, they tired, they adapted. It just ain't the same. Some of them gonna still talk, but if you look at the majority, they don't have no time for that. They working, they grinding, because that's what it takes to be a top-notch D1 athlete. You got to take the time to do that. It's gonna take a lot of time to do that and do your homework. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jahquez really not on social media no more.
Yeah.
And I was kind of shocked because I thought he was addicted to it, couldn't help it. Mm-hmm. So he'll post small things here and there on Instagram, I believe, but on Twitter, nothing. Facebook, nothing. Like blanket, nothing. He don't even log in. He just chill.
Yeah, because they're busy right now.
He got more people that he mess with on Instagram than he do anything else. And then on Twitter, you got to watch yourself on there because, everybody looking for something to jab at you at. You know what I'm saying? Looking to stab some kind of way. So he don't really mess with it no more. I think they kind of talked me to that there. But in the same sense, there's a lot of kids there like Mac Jones. He ain't got no social media like that no more either. So I think they may have, persuaded them to think about it because it really is your target now that you're at a situation that you're in.
Yeah, you definitely a target. And it's people offering you things, following you, trying to give you stuff. It just makes it easier to get at you. It just makes you more accessible. And you got to really be responsible when you're dealing with that. So I know winter workouts was very, very hard for Shaun his first year. So how was it for Jahquez?
He just started. He told me that, it's a method. Like I promise you, dog. When it comes to this college thing, man, I didn't put it towards life, man. It is a process. It's like the first time they started, like on the 14th. They got there on the 4th of January. They got their rooms, everything on no later than the 6th, right? They got everything completed. The ones that were going to be there, right? So they set them all down in the classroom, told them what the requirements are and what they got to do, where they got to be at, and what things to get done. Gave him a schedule with everything of that nature, right? Then the next day they had like a 6:30 a.m. practice, or it's not even practice, a workout, right? And he was like, "Dad, when I tell you, I've never worked harder in 45 minutes than anything else in my life." It's like them 45 minutes was like so hard, like that first workout will make you want to quit. He's like, "Dad, I really wanted to quit because it is crucial." It's like, man, it's not like you got one time you can swing water. They got you walk around with the waters for you, right? So you swing the water and then, where you going? Let's go, Jahquez, get on here, I'm like, hey. I'm like, yeah, well, now it's everything's on the line right now. Your future right now is in your hands, bro. Like, it's like parents. If you don't go to work, how you gonna pay your bills? You got to find some way to get the avenue, the revenue in to take care of the business. Now, when you play football, you got to make sure your body right. You got to tend to every small thing. Go to the treatments and go do this and go do that. It's like a schedule, jam-packed, getting everything done. And then after you do all that workout, now you got tutoring. So it's like, hey, boy, ain't no time. Hey, you got no time to play around.
And a lot of people.
Weekends is the only time you can go somewhere.
Yeah, and then in Ohio State, they make it to where practice is on Saturday or Sunday, so you can't really go nowhere on the weekend.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, we have practice we had different workouts on Saturday and Sunday, so you can't just roll out and just go out of town and stuff like that. But I remember Shaun.
They ain't got there yet.
I remember Shaun told his brother one time that their stretching will make most people quit. He said it's like a 15-minute, 12-minute stretching. He said their stretching exercises, most people been done quit by then. He said it's really, really, really hard. You know what I'm saying? Something because they're trying to break them down. Because the thing about it, they're trying to get all these attitudes, all these superstars, all these guys who were good in the communities where they were at, and get them all broken down and get them to, be team players. So the only way they do that is they put the football away, and everything is just straight hard agility, strength, conditioning, workout. And so they break everybody down to build them back up as a team.
Yeah, he said Jahquez said that he was doing like they did like in high school is who could squat the most type the hard squats, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then they was going like but he just told me, I know in the Marine Corps they had me go all the way down but to your ankles, right?
Yeah.
In
Like
high
boot camp.
school they don't do that too much.
Yeah.
Right? They go halfway and that creates injury, you know what I'm saying, by doing it that way because, you know, you got all the pressure on your knees the whole time you're doing to the bench type squats, right? But he was like, here, man, you going not that much weight, like he said there about squatting 200 pounds, or this out 350 in high school. Also, they go put 200 pounds on me, and then I go all the way down. But not only that, I would squat all the way down to the ground and do that like 7 reps of that, and then I got to go to box jumps for 2 minutes. Then I go to jump ropes for 2 minutes, and you got to continually keep on going all this stuff like this. And he was like, man, it killed him. He's like, I went home. He said, I went back to my room there. I just fell asleep. Like, I couldn't even get up. I'm done. He's like, I was there the whole week. Now, he said, I'm getting better. I can work through it. But still, I got to go to treatment afterwards, man, because my body is really hurting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, they don't get paid. They don't get paid millions of dollars just to treat your kid like he at Disneyland. You know what I'm saying? They get paid those millions of dollars to push out, you know what I'm saying, primetime athletes. And that's how people got to look at it on that level. You know what I'm saying? That's what they get paid for. They get paid to make sure you are in the top shape that you can be in. You know, pushing your body to the limit so you're ready to go when those games come across.
Well, another good thing, bro, I found out while I was there is that I'm not sure about other colleges. Other colleges may, I don't know about this if it's true, but I guess if you get a top tier recruiting class that you get better games or whatever to watch on TV, whatever, right? But one thing I liked about Coach Saban, he was like, man, like I asked him, you know what, like my son's stars, he's like, I don't know what stars are. I don't care what stars are. It don't matter to me because you can have all that and can't play. And what is it good to me? What good is it to me? And that's one thing I know kids get caught up in right now to this day, man. They get caught up with the stars, man. Like, I'm this star, but don't mean you that player. You know what I'm saying? Because end of the day, whoever rating you really don't have the credentials to say they did that or they played themselves. So that's one thing about, you know, being where your feet are. Means that if you're a 2-star, be the best 2-star in the country. If you're a 3-star, be the best 3-star in the country. If you're a 5-star, you be the best 5-star in the country. Like,
yeah, and that's one thing I wanted to ask you. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to ask you. Remember, I mean, because I mentored you a long time, man. Like a little bit after your Mandarin years, we kind of met up or whatever. We seen each other, but we didn't know each other. So that's one thing I want to ask you, and I want you to like kind of tell this to our other dads out there. So I got dads that they go crazy about little moments. They're not being where their feet are, so they go crazy about little moments in their steps to trying to get to where they get to. So your son is at Alabama now. How many of those moments that you was mad about, that you talked about late at night, having a drink about, really matter to your son going to Alabama?
None.
I ain't gonna say none. That's a lot now. But what I'm saying though, you get yourself caught up into different things.
You gotta think in Pop Warner, Jahquez played DN.
So that didn't matter. None of that stuff mattered. Yep. Okay.
None of that mattered.
Yeah, okay.
He played DN. He wasn't no running back. He wasn't no wide receiver. None of that mattered. He played DN. The biggest thing about him tackling, acknowledging where he's supposed to be at. Discipline is what that did for him. So I can't say whatever he played, he had to be not be able to jump off sides. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not to do ends or whatever. Other than that, nothing. Pop Warner did nothing for my son when it comes to playing football.
How many in high school?
Everything he learned when he got to high school.
Yeah, everything he learned pretty much. I mean, Pop Warner set the basis of it, because if you don't play Pop Warner, you don't get the basis of tackling and stuff like that. But like even in high school, you get mad about them not doing this for your son and them not doing that for your son. A lot of that stuff. Okay. A lot of that stuff didn't matter. You might have thought it mattered then, but a lot of that stuff was just a process of him getting what he was going to get regardless. Now, don't get me wrong. You had to make the changes.
Right.
You had to make the changes, but a lot of the stuff we get mad at. We get mad at the coach. We get mad at all these different situations. We get mad at the people who rank, and not you, but I'm just saying people get mad at all that kind of stuff. But some of that stuff don't even matter, and we just waste negative energy towards working on being on our feet. Being on our feet. I got into an argument with a parent 2 days ago about his son, and I felt like he looked at all the things that was negative versus the only thing that mattered. Because at the end of the day, when his son go to college, the only thing that mattered is him and his son getting better, all the negative other kids that's around and the situation that we got going on, it doesn't matter. You know, the only thing that matters is your son getting better every day, working harder to try to get to the goal he's trying to get to. So you can it's easy for somebody, and I tell my team this all the time. I got a basketball team that I'm coaching. Tell them all the time, it's easy to say this person messed up, but how many people gonna stand up and say what I did wrong? And that's what's wrong with our generation. This generation of kids, nobody will step up and say, I did this wrong, I did that wrong, I need to work hard to get better. People won't do that. It's very frustrating.
Nobody acknowledges their faults in anything in life, in my opinion. Nobody acknowledges their faults. It's easy to point a finger than to acknowledge your own faults. But what I can say about, Jahquez and his transition from Pop Warner to middle school football to high school football is the fact that at that time as a dad, I didn't understand the process, didn't know nothing about a process, and I could go back, I would change. I would actually, enjoy the process of him going through what he went through that we thought then was adversity versus understanding that at a certain level you got to be at. Like, I really do think Trinity coaches, I promise you, man, I really do think Trinity coaches for a long time, Randy, I talk to you all the time about this. I was upset that my son wasn't playing the way he should have played. I was upset that I didn't understand why he wasn't playing when he's not doing anything anybody else out there is doing. He's doing the same thing everybody else doing. Right? I didn't understand that there's a process to him, and now I thank them because if it wasn't for them acknowledging the process to us of that he got to work on this, or he can't get down when he don't make a play, or because he wanted to live up to a height that he couldn't live up to at that time. Like, he wasn't that kind of player at that time to have this kind of strain on you. And every kid ain't built to have that kind of strain on them. You know what I'm saying? So, and they saw that via their coaching over the years that Jahquez is somebody that we could have did, but he took Coach Ross on my toe. He said that he should have had him on JV that year to get more confidence in himself, because him going to varsity his freshman year and sophomore year, playing behind the people he played behind, set a certain standard for him, and he really wasn't ready for that level mentally. Because it's not about the physical readiness, it's a mental readiness. The fact that you're going to make a mistake, understand that you will, but know how to get over that is what my son didn't have. To be totally honest with you, he didn't have that mental get over this roadblock situation. I never was a big football player myself, but I didn't understand the process of how it goes. So they introduced us to that, and now my son is at Alabama, which in high school, Trinity is at Alabama. Sure, people are going to give him a chance to play there. Not everybody can go there and play, right? You got to be a certain caliber of player to be there and play. And, my son went through that early, and I'm happy he went through that with Trinity, because when he went to Sandalwood, then it was like he saw people there were, not really fighting, not really wanting to be like the best, like they're okay with losing. They're okay with not winning games because they've been doing that so long that it made my son uncomfortable. Like, Dad, they don't want to win. But in the same sense, it also motivated him to be that leader on the team, to show them that, man, we can win. We got to play. We can do this. We can do that. Not everybody bought into it.
Yeah.
But the same shit, man, like, he put that out there for him. And that's what I think Trinity helped him do.
And it
really was a blessing.
It's crazy. Who ain't okay with losing? Saban, bro. You see him at that doggone championship game, LSU and Clemson. That dude is not okay with losing, bro. And so, like, he going to put that into their players. So, it's just a stepping stone. Everybody got their own story. No one story is the correct way to do it or whatever like that. But my biggest thing is to try to motivate parents to understand. Stop putting so much pressure on your kid, for one. And for two, every moment ain't the moment where they going to make it. Meaning that, like, we act like as parents, if they fail or they do something in a game or in school or something like that, every moment ain't the moment where they going to make it. I mean, I can see what you preparing them for is that moment that, a D1 coach come to the sideline and they watch your son catch a 90-yard touchdown pass or intercept the ball or something like that. But every moment ain't that moment. And don't act like every moment that moment, because what happens is when you act a certain way, you put a lot of pressure on them. But then at the same time, make sure you make them accountable for the things they do wrong so they can work and get better at it. But accountable don't necessarily mean yell at them. Accountable means, what did you do? Not what did they do. Even if the other person is right, if you make them accountable, you're going to set them up for success at the next level because Saban don't care.
Right.
Saban don't. Coach, they don't care. Like they only gonna take so much of your kid in the way they play, and if they're not ready, they're just gonna move to the next guy. You know, so you got to make them accountable in what they do because on this next level, it's a different level. Period, man.
You right, bro. So once you make them accountable, you see how much they love it.
Yeah.
The reality is, if you know that you're doing like God told me, he was like, man, if you think about it, man, football from Pop Warner to, you know, if you do 10 years in NFL, which is a blessing to do that, right? But 10 years in NFL, that's like, what is that? 25 years, almost 25 years or 30 years. So he's like, man, look, man, you can't hold your son, you know, or you can't hold anybody accountable for 1 year of him not playing good, right? Versus a lifetime of football. So, you know, you got to hold yourself accountable to every single situation. Not like blanket that. You can't blanket it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it was a coach. Nah, you can't say it just was a coach.
Can't say that.
Even if he did everything he's supposed to do, then he will be better. And that's the only thing about playing football is you play football to get better. And to win games, of course, but you want to get better.
You want to get better.
A better player, a better person, a better teammate. Versus labeling on one or labeling in football, which is a 20-year deal on one situation. Or the coach called the wrong play. Or you got my son in the wrong position. Like, it's a lifetime of this. So you got time to make everything right, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, and then like I said, that stuff drains into the kids. So the kids start making excuses. You know what I'm saying? They at a Division I school making an excuse like they playing Pop Warner somewhere. Like it don't work like that. Because at the end of the day, it's excuses, but those excuses are not gonna get you to the place you want to be as far as being successful. You know what I'm saying? Being successful. And that's why you see kids in the transfer portal, even though the transfer portal is not that bad, and the transfer portal been there forever, it's not that bad. But a lot of people make excuses because they can't wait, they can't be patient, they can't let the games play out. People get injured, a lot of things happen, but because they're not treated the same way they were treated in high school in Pop Warner or youth football, they just move on to the next thing, and that's something that I don't know necessarily it's going to make you better, but we definitely see though. Everybody, like I said, everybody has a story. Everything is different, man. I'm just so excited, man. So excited, man. So anything else you got, man, for the parents, anything like that, or the kids?
The only thing I can say is, man, everybody gonna have an opportunity. Like if your dream is going pro, if your dream is doing whatever it is, man, you're gonna have an opportunity to do it. Like the guy said, you know, he was like, you know, everybody has an opportunity, but not people are prepared and ready to take on the opportunity. Whether it's mentally or physically, maybe at the time the opportunity is here, you wasn't ready. I told my son that too. I was like, Jahquez, when you were playing at Trinity, did you feel like every play that you think you could have made more plays or could have did better? He was like, yeah. Well, I'm like, that was your opportunity to be what you wanted to be, or be who you wanted to be. So now that you realize that, you know, every opportunity that you had, you did take advantage of. From this day going forward, you gotta be ready for. You gotta be ready for any opportunity that comes your way. So just be prepared and ready mentally and physically for any opportunity that comes your way. Just be ready for it, like, because everybody gonna get a chance. That's life. Everybody gonna get a chance. But who's ready for it and who's not ready for it is what determines who's great and who's not, in my opinion, you know?
All right, for sure, man. Hey, 6 months, man. I would like to think we had, like, since the 6 months, I think we had like 300 something hits and just been listening to different conversations. We're gonna keep that stuff going from the swimming to track. So we're gonna, you know, do some volleyball, bowling, boxing, whatever we can, different things that we have that's gonna help the kids, man. Frank Rob, man, go on, take us out, bro.
Hey, we back, y'all. We're gonna get it back together, man. We gonna keep this thing smooth and running. So just, you know, hit us up if you got any questions. I saw a lady on Facebook today said something about what is it's NCAA clearinghouse, stuff like that, man. Now we're gonna give you avenues to get those questions answered by dads who've been through the whole entire process from high school to college, man. So we help you out. Anything you need, we can help you out, whether we show you what to do or whatever we got to do. And one time I want to shout out to my boy, you know, Maurice. Sorry about your son, man. Love you. And also to my boy Calvin. He's who passed away is also. So we give a shout out to man. They listen to the podcast with us while we doing it. They always told me about it. They listen to the podcast, give us episodes, or even ask questions about certain things. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all rest in peace, man. You know.
All right, man. Stay smooth, man. Frankie Rob, man. You ain't no recruit that no more, dog. You part of the alumni, man. Hey, you can sit in that box now, boy. Hey, welcome, bro. All right, we out.
All right.